Cyber Reason with Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo is your source for all the news and information following every Patriots game.
Shotgun snap to Mac Jones. Fires to the end zone. Caught at the goal line. It's a touchdown for Hunter Henry as the Patriots add to their lead.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Slipping and sliding, he was like a cat. Pop, pop, bang. Patriots get the win in Arizona, 27-13 over the Cardinals. Welcome into the Patriots Postgame Show presented by Cyber Reason. This one,
Paul, wake up. Paul, the game's over.
This is going to be.
Wait, did I get hurt?
This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. I'm not going to lie to you. No, it's going to be tough to talk about. A, honestly, and B, without being negative. I mean,
it was condescending. I don't want to be condescending.
Right. I don't want to be sarcastic. I don't want to be condescending. It was a 14-point win against a team you should have beaten. The conversation, I fear, will lean toward what should that game have looked like after Kyler Murray went down after the third play. You know, why was the issue in doubt for as long as it was? What is happening offensively? But we'll get to all of that here in the postgame. Those are my initial thoughts. I don't know how we're going to handle it. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, it's hard to ignore just the amount of bodies that were leaving the game early. Mm-hmm. And, it sort of starts and ends with Kyler Murray. I mean, that's the entirety of the Cardinals offense. I thought that you saw all kinds of opportunities to make plays in the passing game tonight, and Colt McCoy did a nice job with it. But, at the end, just too many self-inflicted wounds by the Cardinals. And I want to focus on the positive. I don't want to be condescending. I don't want to be sarcastic. The Patriots moved back into the playoff structure tonight. I said before the game, they control their destiny. I know it's a weird thing to say because the schedule is so daunting. But if they win their games, they don't need to look at the scoreboard. Yeah. And tonight they won their game. They did exactly what Mike's key was exactly played out tonight. Find a way. Yeah. They found a way because DeAndre Hopkins threw the ball on the ground.
Can we not give Deuce any credit for his key, though? Essentially,
the one key that you said was not valid was the one that was most valid.
I mean, dead on, too. I mean, really.
That was definitely the validest.
Let me rephrase Mike's key and see if it changes the tone or tenor of it at all. Just win the game.
Find a way.
Just win the game.
Kind of catchy.
Basically, no style points. Just win the game.
Just win the game.
Just win, baby.
Oh, is that the key to winning?
Baby.
Was that your big key to winning?
I think it was more of an exasperated, I give up. Just do something good.
He gets no credit for that key.
Oh,
don't do that.
I tried, Mike.
It's prescient. I thought it was prescient.
I want him to do better next week.
I'll do purposely better.
Any other initial thoughts before we get to our good, bad, injured?
No, just quick highlight. A little credit to the couple rookie running backs stepping up. I mean, it wasn't perfect clearly
That's
with
for
the
fumble,
good. But no, the defense stepped up. It was a little hairy there.
Don't jump ahead.
A little hairy there for a minute.
It's your first rodeo.
Good job, defense. Okay, I'm ready.
Good job.
He's doing a good list. Too. All right, he's been so bad the pre and post. I mean, we just started the post game already.
Fine, I just won't talk.
Now it's time for the good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
The bad.
Hey, what happened?
And the injured.
You all right, Gay?
All right.
Guy, don't be like that.
No, I got to apologize to Deuce because he shut
down.
down.
I'll come back. Fine, I'll come back.
All right.
I'm back.
Good, the bad, and the injured brought to you by the good players, the bad players, and the injured players. Man, do we have a lot of injuries to talk about. But we'll start with the good. First up on the good list, Deuce, what do you got?
I'm going to give you Marcus Jones.
Nice.
I'm curious how many snaps he played, but the interception, playing on offense, showing a little
bit of
dynamic.
It's a high school player tonight.
How much can you ask of that guy? Really, really cool to just see his role kind of expanding, and he's a weapon. We talk about what do these guys need going in. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and talk about next year, but you talk about one guy that I think they definitely hit on in the draft, and that's Marcus Jones, who is contributing in all phases. And in a way, right now at this point, I don't think we've seen a rookie do this in a long time, especially around here. So pretty cool. The interception, thanks to Uche, right to him. But in position, making plays. I thought he looked pretty good in coverage. You know, there were a couple hiccups there, but overall, really, you know, just all-around game. I'm not sure how to sum it up.
Just a lot of snaps on offense and defense. I mean, he didn't really, like, the production. He had, like, marks in every column. The production wasn't outstanding, but to play offense, defense, special teams, it's a really, really impressive performance for a rookie. And I thought in that situation.
And the one where he
really
did pop,
impressive.
he was third in tackles on the team. He had 7 solo tackles, 8 total behind Bentley and Duggar.
You know, he gets a pick, he gets a key first down with a little swing pass.
Yep.
And he was good enough, like, in coverage. I thought he struggled a little bit, but
he found a way.
You lose Jalen Mills. You lose Jack Jones,
thrust in,
and he's out there in a big role while playing. And here's what, like, just the amount of running he did on, like, clearly he was a part of the offensive game plan tonight. They wanted to move him in jet motion, a lot of back and forth where he was a decoy. Like, they threw it to him once early, and then a lot of times they would play action to him. They would sort of fake the pump screen to his side once they threw 9,000 screens tonight. He was a decoy for most of the night, but he's constantly running. And, I mean, I thought he really impressive performance playing in all 3 phases.
All right, so that's a good one to lead us off. Marcus Jones. Paul, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the rookie running backs, but specifically I thought Pierre Strong tonight really gave them a burst that they don't normally have. You see that he's a little bit faster than the other running backs. And, you know, Kevin Harris came in early for Stevenson. Had some initial success. I think he had 3 carries for 32 yards and a touchdown. His night sort of ended there. He ended up with 5 carries from that point on for -4 yards. But Pierre Strong, 5 carries, 70 yards, turned in 2 long runs. And he also had a touchdown. I thought that those 2 guys with Damian Harris out and Ramondre Stevenson unavailable, I thought they filled in admirably, those 2.
Absolutely. I mean, something I was been afraid of. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson been talking about it the last couple of weeks. Like, how much can we run this guy into the ground? Are these rookies even ready to be thrust into the flames? Now, you know, I do feel like you got to mention Kevin Harris with that, you know, miscue. I don't know exactly whose fault that fumble was.
It looked like that was on him.
But that's a continuation of what we saw in the preseason and why I think we haven't really seen much of him early on. So that, you know, not to, you know, feed into this is the good list, but I do think it's worthy of highlighting that. But I loved even near the end that jump cut by Pierre Strong. You know, he was supposed to be a speed guy coming in, so they certainly could use a little bit more out of him. And if Stevenson can't go, they might be right back up here on the short week on Sunday.
Yeah, I had Kevin Harris written down as one of the early goods, you know, after his touchdown. And you're right, Paul.
Me too.
After a few carries, he did get several more, but he ended up going for a loss on.
Yeah, he had 3 for 32. He ended up with 8 for 26. But I did write down, like, he had a nice burst. Then he had the TD run. I thought he gave him a lift on that touchdown drive, that first one.
All right, so Pierre Strong definitely worthy, and you know, Kevin Harris got to mention. I'm gonna combo my first 2 as well, just so we can move this along a little bit. I'm gonna do Matthew Judon and Josh Uche together.
Yeah, sure.
I thought they provided a nice 1-2 combination tonight, giving a lot of issues to Colt McCoy and the offensive line of the Cardinals, and made a guy who should have been uncomfortable back there. Eventually made him uncomfortable. At the start, he did not seem thrown off by the situation he was put into, but as the game wore on, those guys made their presence known. They did what they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, Uche continues, you know, to be hot. I mean, I don't want to undercut anything he's done. Production's production, and you know, they got 2 guys now with over 10 sacks, you know, first duo in the league to do that. So they're going to need them to continue to be really good up front, and you know that was a little bit disconcerting there early on. Felt like they just kind of were stacking plays and drives early on, but then once they got the 4th down stops and then the 2 turnovers, that was it. Defense turned the page.
It is funny because the defense had a monster game statistically tonight. I don't think the defense played all that well, but and I in particular don't really think Judon had a great game, despite the fact that he had some sacks. I thought he lost the edge a couple times containing on James Conner. But here's what I want to say about Uche specifically. Like, I'm still sort of unsold on the player itself, but what he is turning into is a closer.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, Buffalo, they went out and got Von Miller because
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be playing with the lead in the fourth quarter, and he's going to close out games. And he did until he tore his ACL. What Uche has done in the last 4, 5, 6 games is become that kind of a closer. I didn't really see him. I didn't see 55 all night tonight until they got a 2-score lead. That's fine,
Uche
except
time.
for then you got 3 sacks.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, he was responsible. I shouldn't say I didn't see him. The best play he made of the night wasn't a sack. It was hitting Colt McCoy on a play that I think was going to be a touchdown for the Cardinals. Had McCoy been able to step in to throw and hit DeAndre Hopkins, that caused the Marcus Jones fair catching a punt because the ball went straight up in the air and fell 20 yards short. So I think Uche can be a very, very valuable player for this team if he can continue to get hot as a pure pass rusher the way he has, as you pointed out, Mike. 10 sacks in the last 6 games, I think. He had none in the first I think he had none in the first 6 and 10 in the last 7, something like that. If the Patriots can play with the lead in the fourth quarter, that's a valuable player to have. That's a valuable trait that good teams have is that one pass rusher who can get there when he just pins his ears back, and he showed that tonight. He was dominant on those tackles on the outside.
Yeah.
All right, Deuce, what else you got on the good list?
I was going to throw Jelani Tavai up there.
Sure.
I had Tavai on my list.
The fourth down pass defense. I mean, he just continues to look surprisingly athletic in space to me at times, and I don't know how, if he's on that level of the kind of linebackers that you're truly looking for. But I think he's been really good this year. This was a game that popped out. I mean, I think there was right on the when things kind of turned around right at the end of the first half when he had the fourth down stop. They went down, got the field goal. Then on 3rd and 4, I think he had another pass defense right coming into the third quarter. So just showing up with some timely plays. Overall, I thought he stood out a couple times.
Athletic in space.
I thought the play at the end of the first half was a really, really big play because you could see what it was going to lead to. Like, it was going to lead to an opportunity for the Patriots to not only not be down by 2 scores. I mean, it wasn't – I just don't really understand what coaches do anymore. But the Cardinals went from being up 2 scores at the half to being up a field goal because of Jelani Tavai. That was a great play. And then he had another really nice pass defense in the second half when he dropped into a deep zone and I think prevented a would-be completion. So I agree with Mike. I think Tavai has been pretty consistently good all season and plays deceptively well in space. Like, this is a big play right here. That guy's open. That's going to be a catch right there. If not for him getting his hand on that pass. And a good job by Marcus Jones recognizing that it was tipped. And I think it was McBride was the backup tight end Marcus Jones just tears him down by the shoulder as the ball's coming. He looked like he was going to catch it on the deflection, but once it gets tipped like that, it's no interference.
We have Kyle Duggar on the phone here joining us in just a moment. Before we get to him, we want to thank our sponsor, Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots, providing players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 8, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet at surface.com. So Kyle will be joining us here in mere moments as we continue talking about the Patriots' 27-13 win over the Cardinals tonight in Arizona. It was the game that we were talking about beforehand, whether or not they just had to do whatever they had to do in order to get the win. Now that they have the win, you can look at it in a much more positive light in terms of, all right, well,
I love winning, you know what I mean?
Well, you've got now
it's better than losing.
Now you have the opportunity to go ahead and look at the next one. You're back above 500 now as a football team, and you're looking to the Raiders next week and thinking, okay, still got a season going on here. I mean, the mood changes.
Stayed alive.
Well,
tonight.
the mood
Had
changes drastically just on the basis of that W, and part of that W is Kyle Duggar joining us now on the phone. Kyle, congratulations, great game.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, Kyle, just what did you see there on the play where Hopkins fumbled it? It looked like you got a hand in on that one.
Just kind of leveraging the cutback. I kind of had a feeling he was going to cut back and just making sure I made a good over the field tackle, and I think he was kind of slinging the ball loose and got it off.
Kyle, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the mentality defensively. Third play of the game, and obviously a huge part of your game plan going in had to be dealing with Kyler Murray. In the third play of the game, he's out. How did that affect things defensively for you guys?
It just, as far as just worrying about the mobility of getting outside the pocket and extending plays, it made it a little, I guess you could say, cleaner. We still had to do our job and be disciplined on the rush and things like that, but that wasn't as big as a factor, I'd say, with him out. And so that kind of allowed us to kind of change the calls and maybe be in some different calls later down the stretch.
We were talking before the game about the mentality of the team spending this week together, away from home. I got to imagine that already the mood is improved. Now, when you have a few days to kind of reflect on this win and get ready for the Raiders. Otherwise, this may have been a long week if you had to sit on a loss before you had the next game coming up, 6 days from now?
Definitely would have been. It's definitely good to get a win and be able to, put it behind us and focus on what we have ahead.
Kyle, just one more for you. Josh Uche drafted after you in the 2020 draft. 3 sacks for him tonight. He's really coming on strong. Just, what has he brought to the defense this year with the way he's, performing, especially at the end of the games with these kind of like closeout sacks?
Energy and consistency. And so we know with him, he's going to be consistent. He's going to rush well and give us big plays down the stretch when we need it. And we definitely needed it. So that consistency, energy is the key for the defense. We definitely appreciate it.
Well, credit to the entire defense for bringing the energy all night. It was a great performance. Congratulations, and good luck next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, there he goes, Kyle
Thanks,
Duggar.
Kyle.
Joining us here on the Patriots Postgame show presented by Cyber Reason. That was exactly what I was going to ask him about, Paul. And I'm sure they were talking about on the sideline, once they had an opportunity to. But they, when it happens mid-series like that, you don't have a chance to talk about it right then. It's just, you just change the calls out on the field.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess that we're going to hear Belichick talk about, like the problems that caused, as opposed to, we didn't have to deal with Kyler Murray all night.
Yeah, it made it easier.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect. I don't like to be disrespectful to, that's not. Sometimes I can be. I don't mean to be. Like Colt McCoy's had a really solid NFL career. He's stuck around as a quality backup because he generally goes in the game and does his job. And I think he did his job tonight.
Yeah.
I think he played as well as you can expect. He's not Kyler Murray. And I think that was, without question, the single biggest moment of the night.
Well,
was him leaving the game.
Yeah. And look, you took care of business. You won by 14 points. So you're not being disrespectful when you say it made things. Now, do they still get a win with Kyler Murray in the game? I think the game is. I think the game is much different, and we don't know. But it's not disrespectful,
Yeah.
and Kyle kind of admitted to it. It's like, well, Kyler Murray is one of these guys who's going to be outside of the pocket, moving around the edge, and we didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
as much.
and then you take in, like, I'll continue with my goods. Okay, here the red zone defense tonight was a big part of the success. Cardinals were 1 for 3 in the red zone.
Yeah.
And I just have to think it's a lot more difficult dealing with the Cardinals' red zone offense if you have a guy like Murray, at the controls. So if the game unfolded exactly the way it did and Murray was playing quarterback all night, I think you'd have been in trouble tonight. The Cardinals, where did they move? Inside the 40, inside the 30, 5 times?
Yeah.
They missed a field goal. They settled for 2 other field goals. They had a touchdown. They had a 4th down, 2 4th down fails inside the 40, I think. I think if Kyler Murray's playing, it's a lot more difficult to contain on those kinds of plays because he can make something out of nothing. Now, the Patriots defense did what it had to do. I thought it was really shaky in the first half, and they shut it down in the second half.
Yep.
They did what they had to do. That's why I still think Mike's point is
they
the validest.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
They found a way.
Goodless Nick Folk. Come on, give it up. 2 for 2
Yeah.
on his field goals.
No, I like that he bounced back. For sure.
3 for 3 on his extra points. He had a 51-yarder tonight.
Anytime it's over 50, it makes you feel good with him, for sure.
51-yarder.
No.
That's a big kick. So I put him on my good list. I got him right
You
there.
got that pen.
I'm not
licked up.
arguing with you. You can put him on your good list.
And you're right, Deuce. He needed a good game.
I mean, all relative. I mean, those last kicks he missed were in weather and stuff. I don't want to say like,
Deuce, he
where
needed
was it?
no.
but it's just
two-
reassuring.
2 games ago, I don't give him much leeway on those. I think he should have had at least one of them.
You
that he
can't
missed.
be short on 48-yarders. I agree with you, Hardy.
That's all. That's all
I'm
I got.
firm but
specific.
fair.
I would say just more situational defense.
Okay.
Cardinals 4 for 14 on third down and 1 for 5 on fourth down. So,
Yeah.
on the big plays, you came up big. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Again, the job. I get it. The job was made a lot easier with the personnel. The change at quarterback. But give the Patriots credit, when they needed to make a play, they generally did, and when they didn't, the Cardinals made it for them. The biggest play of the game was DeAndre Hopkins just dropping the ball running across the field. I mean,
Well, that's not what Kyle Duggar just said.
yeah, if you kind of listen to him, I think he kind of did. I just had my contain.
Yeah.
I anticipated him coming across the field.
I got to be honest. I didn't even realize they gave him a forced fumble. I was looking at the stats, and they're like, we got Kyle Duggar, and I'm like, oh, he forced the fumble. So I figured
Oh, they
I'd
did
ask
credit him with a forced
they
fumble?
They did force it with a
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
guess if you make the tackle and the guy fumbles, it's considered a forced fumble.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I think the replay kind of showed that he didn't really touch the ball. And even if he did, it's on Hopkins. I mean, what do you?
It looked like he was just like putting the ball down for the ref.
What are
or
you
something.
doing? Like, look at how he's holding the ball. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like he's getting ready to go in the end zone. He was going to reach it out, only he's at his own 20.
That's kind of
Yeah, and the ball's
doesn't
behind
he run
him.
with the ball a lot like
Yeah,
that? Like
that was
he's
a
kinda
really
loaf of
bad
bread.
play,
Yeah.
and it cost me a fantasy win. So yes, there's some bitterness there.
And
You didn't yell at Kyle for that.
you should have
I don't
gotten
think you
on
would
his-
have.
You should have handed the ball back to him.
I don't think you would have appreciated it.
I don't think it was a game full of odd moments, but there were a couple of exceptionally odd moments, and we've seen, no contact injuries, like Kyler Murray suffered tonight. But it's still odd to see it happen. These guys are out there doing so much, and we saw some violent hits tonight. Those guys pop right up.
There was some good hits tonight. You're right.
Sometimes they end up in the tent, but for the most part, the guys pop right up.
Yeah.
And then, you see Kyler Murray just go down untouched and not to return. The DeAndre Hopkins, the Kyle Duggar,
Thank you.
forced
Yes,
fumble
correct.
with DeAndre Hopkins. Another weird one, and who just said that Hopkins carries the ball? He's kind of known for that.
Yeah,
What?
Mike just
Loaf
said
of
it,
bread.
and he's right.
I guess, but it's still odd to see it happening from a player who is that good
I'm not old. I mean,
to do
he's been around
something
for a while.
to do something fundamentally that bad.
Yeah.
It's just odd.
That was where the
Just
game
odd.
changed. I mean, that little sequence. I mean, it was the defense. I mean, credit to the defense. I think Paul said the red zone stops and then the turnovers, the fourth down stops. I mean, that little collection of, kind of clutch plays from the defense, it was enough to turn the tide, get the team back into the game, and they were able to pull away with some explosive plays. I mean, credit to the offense for some of those explosive plays. I think some of those throws to Hunter Henry, some of the best big plays of the year. So that's good stuff.
All right, well let's get to the bad list.
I was to start with third down defense. I mean, it's an easy kind of general situational thing to start with. But, I think overall this wasn't, a redefining offensive night. It was, kind of more of the same. There were definitely some big plays, but, we usually do see some big plays from the offense. But overall, and they did get 2 red zone touchdowns. Yay. But, again, it just wasn't consistent enough. And I think a lot of the third down problems were just, related to struggles in the run game and ending up in third and longs and then hurting yourself on those third downs. I think they had, 2 different penalties on third long that made it third and longer. So, just overall, I think that the third down defense or third down offense, just continues to be a grind.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the third down numbers, 3 for 11 for the offense. I agree with Mike.
27%.
The offense continues to do little to nothing, and I thought the one word that came to mind tonight for the whole direction of the offense was uninspired.
Yeah,
like the other team's defensive coordinator called you out for a style of play, and then you came out and
double down on it.
did that style of play.
Yeah.
So many screens.
And until you had a 2-score lead, then you went hard play action and took a shot.
Found Hunter Henry. It was great.
And he wasn't open, and they threw it away.
Early on, O-line play, and I know it's an ongoing issue and some personnel issues, but Trent Brown called for the false start early on that forced them into a 3rd and 14.
3rd and 9 to 3rd and 14, absolutely.
Yep.
And then same thing with the delay of game, 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 15.
So that they got a early mention on the bad list and didn't improve enough throughout the course of the night for me to take them off.
8 more penalties in general, if you want to just kind of lump all that together.
It's a lot.
Sure.
It's a lot. Again, it's a lot.
What else stood out to you tonight, Deuce? And again, it's hard not to get.
I know.
You don't want to get overly critical because a lot of this stuff is the thing that we've been seeing, and some of it is uninspired, some of it is execution, and some of it is, like Paul just mentioned, it kind of looks like a defensive guy running the offense at times, and I think we saw a lot lot more of that tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to throw Nelson Aguilar on there.
He was on my list.
10 targets, 5.
Three drops.
3 drops.
And by the way, that was an interception.
I thought it was. And it's just beside those two, there's something missing. And clearly, Mac went to him a lot with, the Myers out and then Parker going down. I wish that he could deliver in a way that they need him to, but there's just something missing. There's just they can't seem to get him on track and find a way to get him going consistently. He'll make an occasional play, but sometimes I find him very, very frustrating.
It's a good word for him.
Yeah, I can't quite I'm failing to articulate it right now here as we're talking at midnight about this game, but he grinds my gears a lot with some of the plays he makes and leaves on the field at times and the drops. I mean, and sometimes it's not even the drops. It's just like you make a catch and you run right into the back of somebody, and I think this is kind of part of the whole team when it's like you need 3rd and 9 and you get 8. Like those kind of plays just drive me batty.
That really grinds my gears.
Thank you, thank you, Peter. But yeah, he's on my down.
Yeah, I had him as well. I agree with Mike. I would put, and I thought they sort of shored this up a little bit as the game continued, but pass protection in general, I thought was an issue. They had an early one with Hunter Henry on the outside against the rookie. I forget his name now, 97, I think he was. He's the one who hit Mac Jones and caused the interception early on in the game. I thought
Cameron Thomas. Yeah.
Cameron Thomas, yes. I thought he struggled on that play. Henry, and then I thought Trent Brown had an Olay on a sack. And that was a big juncture of the game. That was late in the first half, leading to the 2-minute warning, I think. And it allowed the Cardinals a real chance to take control of the game, which Cliff Kingsbury proceeded to hand back to the Patriots. But Trent Brown, overall pass protection, I thought, was struggling in general tonight. That was on my bad list.
All right.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I caught that when we talked about it this week, the Hunter Henry. It's tough for him. They let him isolate him on a defensive end.
That's
you ain't got
coaching
much
to
many
me.
time.
I don't think you should be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's up. Paul, are you up again?
I will take
you're up.
special teams in general. I think they had one kickoff that was stopped, one kickoff return that was stopped short of the 25-yard line all night, with I believe 3 of them out over the 25. A really solid punt return, on a 17-yard punt return for
Marcus?
No, Dortch.
Oh, Dortch. Oh, sorry.
Dortch. Which, again, allowed the Cardinals a golden opportunity to take a 2-score lead at the half, which, again, Cliff Kingsbury handed back. I thought Pilardi had a shank 33-yarder to the 36-yard line in the first half. They had a chance to down a punt inside the 1, and of all people, Matthew Slater has his foot on the goal line, which is really atypical. I thought, again, overall sloppiness on special teams, and they got nothing out of the dynamic one, Marcus Jones, tonight. Maybe he was just gassed from playing every other play. Yeah. But special teams, again, not a great night.
What else do you want to focus in on there?
I mean, it's very small, but where was Jonnu Smith tonight?
One target, no catches.
I'm seeing two targets, I guess, but I mean, the only one I remember was on that screen pass where it just looked completely
I'll double check. I thought he
out
only
of.
had
I mean, that's
one.
I don't know the stats.
Oh,
said
two
but
targets. Yeah. Okay.
I only remember the one you probably remember, which I think was just that screen early on. But
I wonder if maybe the interception that was just sailing in the air. I wonder if he was the closest guy on that.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I do remember the one that went off his hand early.
It's just him and Aguilar. They, you really needed these guys tonight. I mean, with Stevenson going out, I mean, really, he's almost like your leading receiver too. So, without Myers, without him, without Parker, I mean, that's really kind of the top three outside of Henry, and needed those guys to step up. And Jonnu just continues to be nowhere to be found.
I think tonight is a night, a perfect example for Mac anyway, of a guy that doesn't, belong on either list tonight. I think, the issues with the offensive line.
Absolutely. Not on my list.
Yeah, the issues with some of the receivers not stepping up for him. But again, Mac himself did not do enough things to overcome that to warrant inclusion on the good list, because numbers-wise, it wasn't a horrible night. We've kind of seen this from Mac a couple of times now. He's 24-35 for 235 yards, no touchdown passes. He did have the pick, but he's not playing in a situation that allows him really to be good unless he is outstanding on his own. And there's just not enough is going right for this offense right now for you to really say he's the reason why the offense didn't fire
I
on
agree.
all
I'd have to go
cylinders.
back to early in the season when he was just throwing picks to people like he was giving out presents at the Sunday, the holiday party. Like I can't get mad at him for this. I don't.
No, that pick wasn't on him tonight.
Oh
He
yeah.
gets hit as
No, not at all.
He got
I
hit
just
as
mean
he threw it.
the overall performance. Like Mac, I don't want to say he skates, but
I will say, on a positive, if I had to put him on a list tonight, it would be on the good list. But I totally agree with you guys. I wouldn't put him on any list. I thought there were 4 or 5 plays tonight where I saw glimpses of Mac Jones, and what he can be when he's at his best. There was a couple of comeback outs to Aguilar.
Yep.
That I thought were in rhythm and timing. One where I think he got early in the second, maybe the first play of the second half, a nice little sit in a zone for Kendrick Bourne, where he kind of looked it off and the timing was perfect. He threw him open. Now, at the same time, I thought there were a couple others down the field that he sailed high, made more difficult than they needed to be. The biggest play of the night was the one down the seam to Hunter Henry. He was completely uncovered. Yeah. But I give Mac Jones a lot of credit for that play because I thought the way Troy Aikman talked about it, I'm going to take Troy Aikman's view over mine.
As a Hall of Famer.
As a Hall of Fame quarterback,
I think
he felt like Jones really manipulated the safety with his eyes there. So I'm going to give him credit for that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No. I totally agree with you.
So I thought there were more good than bad for Mac Jones tonight, but
it's just a couple of throws here and there, whether there's screens or
and there's no production.
Ball's going out to the
you scored
flat.
20 points. There's no production.
The same.
The ball ends up like on the wrong hand. Yeah. You can tell it's supposed to be thrown out in front by a foot, and instead it's it's to the back shoulder on the receiver is running out and trying to pick up a few yards after the catch. I mean, It is obviously things that they're working on almost exclusively offensively in practice. And if that is what you're going to do for the majority of your plays, man, execution-wise, they better be really good. And the routes aren't long enough. The plays aren't that elaborate enough to blame the receivers for being in the wrong spot. It's like it's right there.
And I gotta think
put
some
the ball
of those
in the right place.
There was seemingly like a dozen screens tonight, right?
Right.
Ridiculous.
I don't think I'm exaggerating.
There's got to be. I haven't looked yet, but I'm sure on Twitter.
But
there's
shouldn't
they?
I gotta think some of
with
those
26 screens tonight, the Patriots have set a record.
But I gotta think that some of those were checked into screens by Mac. So I'm like that's part of it.
Yeah.
Like they showed the one earlier when he was making the signal with his finger. Like I see you. I think he was telling. It was a hot read. It's like wedding crashes.
Hot route.
Hot route.
What is hot route? Right over there.
Mac, what is hot route?
So, like I said, I thought there were some signs tonight from Mac Jones that were a little bit better, but not anywhere near enough.
Anything else before we get to the lengthy injured list?
I didn't love the pass coverage from Kyle Duggar. One of those early plays.
I didn't love the pass coverage all night. I thought their guys were open.
Wow.
I thought their guys were open.
Wow.
You were fortunate you were playing Colt McCoy tonight and not anybody else.
I know. And that's
because the things that we sort of worried about going in, the matchups, worked out to be in the Cardinals' favor. I thought those guys were open. If they had someone that could have gotten them the ball consistently, I think they could have been trouble tonight.
I think it's I mean, and probably, not surprising. I mean, you're down Mills, you're down Jack, you're down guys. But, I think it's just when the secondary needs to, cover and the pass rush isn't getting there, that they're in trouble. Tonight, the pass rush, I think, down the end, they were getting there. That probably saved them a lot. But, yeah, it's
yeah, like I said, the closer. I love that. I think good teams do that.
Yeah.
Good teams get a 2-score lead. They don't give up the garbage touchdown to make you have to get a first down or recover an onside kick. They close it out with a sack. They give up a couple of completions, but then they get a sack to make it second and 19, and they end up, turning you over on downs. And they did it twice.
Yeah, and if he can really be that guy, then he's worked where you picked him as he doesn't have to be a 3-down guy if he's if he's going to be an impact third down end of game closer like that.
Total agreement.
And just in the overall, in the macro, Paul, I agree with that philosophy for a team, to be a closeout mentality team. Do it defensively. Don't do it by going and scoring one more time to really put it away.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather, if you've got a 2-score lead like that, see you play conservative, burn some clock, punt away when you have to, not worry about, piling up on the score, which you got a sense, and you pointed it out, Paul, that they kind of smell blood in the water. You think they want to score again?
The first time they got the turnover on the turnover on downs in the fourth quarter, they were in Arizona territory and they went hard play action and they were taking a shot and it was covered and Mac wisely threw it away. But I think you see so much in that league, 2-score lead midway through the fourth quarter, it's almost automatic the other team scores. And I think the penalties were a big help for the for the Patriots to make sure that didn't happen tonight. But the Patriots didn't let Arizona score largely because of Josh Uche. I thought he came up with big plays when he needed them.
I'd rather see that. And, in the Brady era, we saw him pile on teams, any number of times. But just as many times we saw them go out there and okay, we don't need to score a whole bunch here. Well, all we need to do is now we're playing the clock as much as we are playing the other guys here, and we just got to, maintain this lead, and we don't have to score anymore. We have the lead. We just got to burn clock and prevent them from scoring.
So just a couple of quick items that I had on the bad list. The fumble at the end of the half was absolutely inexcusable. You can't do that. 10 seconds left. I don't know why you're handing the ball off in the first place. Why not just throw another pass? Either take a shot at the end zone or throw another pass just to set up the field goal. You're trying to run the ball, which eliminates any possibility of making a big play.
Just a terrible play call.
And then you end up fumbling it, and I don't even know how you got the ball back. Great job by Mac Jones to recover that fumble.
But why are you running the ball there with that much time? What did they have, 13 seconds?
10 seconds left. So you're trying to get 5 yards, and you're going to call timeout. And you're also handing the ball off to a rookie.
Who's had fumbling issues?
No. Forget about the fumble.
Yeah.
What if it breaks and now instead of just saying, I'm not going for a touchdown here, he's trying to get every last yard and the clock runs out before you can call timeout. That could happen.
Yeah.
I just thought that was poor. And then you have to take a timeout on the third play of the second half because you don't have the play in on time, and therefore you get an F-bomb dropped on your offensive coordinator on national television by your quarterback.
And let me tell you something. I don't blame him. Now, people love to pile on Mac Jones and say that, who is this guy, second-year guy, to be, wanting this and demanding that. I don't think it's too much to ask for him to want to have the play sent in on time so that they can get it off without having to waste a timeout.
No, it's not too much to ask.
Now, maybe you'd rather not see it demonstrated, for the entire world to see like that. But, that's real. That's real talk going on out there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Okay. Injuries.
That's all.
We got a bunch.
A lot.
Jack Jones, Ramondre. Well, Jack Jones was a knee.
He had a knee early and did not return. Which is not good.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson had an ankle. He tried to give it a go, came back for a series. I think they threw it to him 3 straight times, and then he was like, nope, I'm out.
Yep.
He turned around and left. Parker looked woozy. that was a whole thing. I got to go back and look at that because I guess Aguilar was trying to get either to him to wake up, bro. I don't know who's yelling at him don't be
first
concussed.
I couldn't tell if he was trying to get him on the line so I don't know. But yeah, that was bad. Didn't look good. That seemed to be like a miss by the spotter.
Yeah.
Because he was clearly
it was weird because he just kind of went down.
Yeah, he was
he
woozy.
looked woozy. Everybody said it. And then D-Mac, I think, went out briefly, right, with a
and
he went to
Tyquan
the
Thornton,
tent, didn't he?
Yeah, now that was definitely a head. That was the spotter made him leave.
Made McCoy.
He looked like he was making a tackle on McCoy, and he ran right in. Wise ran right into him.
Okay.
And McCoy's head hit right into Wise's chest. So I don't know if he has a concussion, but they made him leave. And then Tyquan Thornton was in the tent, according to Twitter. I never saw him in the game again after that. I don't know what his injury was.
All right, and of course, the biggest and most impactful injury of the night happened to the Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray, which
third play of the game.
Yeah, just changed a lot, certainly for the host team tonight. All right, let's get to your phone calls here. 855-PATS-500. We begin with Steve in Miami. Thanks for your patience. You're up first here on the Patriots Postgame Show presented by Cyber Reason. Steve, what's going on?
How you guys doing? First of all, in case I don't get to talk to you beforehand, happy holidays to you.
Thank you. You too, Steve.
And I want to thank you. A few things. First of all, was this the first game ever that two rookie running backs had a touchdown for the Patriots in one game?
That's a bit of trivia. I'm not sure.
No idea.
No, because I can't remember it. And I'm a Patriots fan from the 60s.
Maybe Ridley
although I was
Vereen.
a kid.
I don't know. Vereen didn't really play much.
I have no idea.
We'll get back to him.
Wouldn't even be able to guess.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, which defense are we seeing? Are we seeing the defense that clobbers a terrible team like the Jets with Wilson and then tonight, or are we seeing the team against the Vikings and the Bills that couldn't stop good offenses? I'm not sure
Who's the opponent?
What to expect?
Yeah, I mean,
I would expect what you saw against the Vikings against similar offenses. I would expect what you saw against the Jets against similar offenses. Tonight, I thought the Cardinals moved the ball really well for most of the game until the game got out of here, until Hopkins fumbled.
Yeah.
Then the game ended.
That was pretty much it. Steve,
I mean, they had 200 yards in the first half. They had 197 yards in the first half.
Let me tell you something. I said it at the top, and in the first half, Colt McCoy did not thrown off by the position he was put into.
No, I mean, and he had, just played two games, like not last game for them, but, the last two. I mean, he beat the Rams. So, I mean, he, was not fresh, but, it's funny because going into this game, the offensive line looked like, all right, this is going to be another one of these defenses the Patriots can tee off on, if not for Kyler Murray and his weapons. I felt like those could offset some of the offensive line issues. But once Kyler Murray went out, it just kind of shaped up into another one of these Patriot games where you're playing a backup quarterback, you got an offensive line, they're a little bit shorthanded. They still have some weapons on the outside, but ultimately they just don't have the guy pulling the trigger or the protection, to truly challenge the secondary, which is what, I think we're learning, especially with the injuries that have happened, is kind of the weakness of the Patriots defense. And when the offensive line isn't able to contain Josh Uche, Matt Judon, then they look really good. But, at the end of the day, what do we really learn from this game? Not much. I mean, this is just another game that has followed the script of the last 2 years. And everything changed with a couple fourth down stops and a couple turnovers, and that was it. The offense never really had to get out of their comfort zone. They did come back. They were down points, so credit for that. But ultimately, stack this one up to next to the other wins of the season. That looks very similar. A lot of characteristics that they share.
I totally agree. It was, I gave you all those numbers, 13-0 when allowing 14 or less points.
Yeah.
So you didn't really do anything to change the narrative, quote unquote.
More on Marcus Jones just for a moment here. We keep talking about all the things that he's been asked to do. According to Boston Sports Info, Marcus Jones is the only player, the only one in the Super Bowl era. Now, this is pretty specific, but still mildly interesting. The only player in the Super Bowl era to have a receiving touchdown, a punt return touchdown, and an interception in a single season. And only 6 players have done it over their careers, had all 3 of those things. Randy Moss, Troy Brown, Deion Sanders, Dale Carter, Roy Green, and John Mallory.
And 3 other guys.
And 3 other guys. I mean, we're going to John Mallory
what's really
from
funny,
1968. Yeah.
What's really funny is as soon as you started rattling off all these things, I immediately said to myself, I'm surprised Roy Green never did that. Because Roy Green used to play both ways early in his career. He played a lot of defensive back, and then he became a full-time wide receiver. But
Right, and he ended up with 66 touchdowns. Troy
Yeah.
Brown, of course, had a ton, and then Randy Moss is, on top of that list. But he's the only guy to do it in a single season in the entire Super Bowl era to have all three of those things: the receiving touchdown, the punt return touchdown, and a pick. So, it's just interesting that now you could also look at this in a not so positive light and say, why do they need one guy to be doing all these things for them?
I'm also surprised that Dion never did it in one season. But that's the bigger question.
The
Hardy.
punt return touchdown, I think, is the tough one. I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure.
not for Dion.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Devin Hester.
Yeah.
But the bigger question that you ask, Hardy, I think is valid. Like, I get. You were missing Jacoby Myers tonight, so you're probably looking to see if you can integrate Marcus Jones a little bit more, and then you lose Parker. But it would be nice to not have to rely on a guy to do that much. I think that he shows really good potential as a defensive back. I think he looks like he's pretty competitive in coverage, and I don't know.
I was just thinking.
I'd like to not have to do that.
We're so desperate for offensive playmakers and guys that can make. I mean, this is the closest thing I've seen to somebody who's really explosive right now. And for me, I'm almost like, how many slot receivers are we going to draft and put on the roster? It's like we have one guy that looks pretty comfortable with the ball and is pretty explosive. Like, do we just make him? Like, what do they do with him in a perfect world? Like,
Absolutely.
What would you go? Are you trying to replace him on defense or offense? I mean, clearly he's going to be the punt returner for the foreseeable future, but I just wonder what in a perfect world they envision him, because I can't help but be intrigued by watching him play offense given what they have. And
Me too.
I mean, just the explosive plays he's made more than some of these free agent guys that have had success in the NFL. So I'm not sure where, but in a team that desperately needs young talent, he is certainly a star so far for this team.
Christian in L.A. on the Patriots Postgame show. What's up, Christian? Christian going once, going twice. And we move on from Christian and we go to Eric in New Jersey. Hi, Eric. Thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, Deuce, Hardy, how you guys doing? Paulie, I'm upset with you. Paulie,
with me?
You've seen this before. Uche, closer, come on. Fully Bandit came, Mark Anderson, guys that we get up leads in that early era. We get early leads. They get 10-sack guys that you put teams away.
I'd like to see him. I'm going to be honest with you here, Eric, and the boys will vouch for me. These are some of the things I said during the game. I'd like to see him get some more sacks when the game is still in doubt. But I do think, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not trying to be sunshine.com here, which is my alter ego, as you know. But I do think there's value in a guy who can close out a game with timely sacks when you're protecting a lead. I agree with you, Eric. I'd like to see some sacks come like in the first quarter on third down.
Or just against first team guys. Again, I mean.
No, I know, but my point is more so like when the game is still in doubt. I think he had. I mean, he had a big play when the game was still in doubt, when it was still 20-7. I think it was 20-13 when he caused the interception by Marcus Jones. But I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah, I'm completely there with you, but it's the patch. I mean, they're running. I mean, that team's an injury riddled team. Obviously, it's a different game with Kyler Murray in there, but I mean, I would wish, like I said, I would wish, he can do a little bit more. Obviously, third year coming into a contract year. Like I said, we've seen the same song and dance when we had those early 2000s. Late 2000s, early 2010s. Those 10-sack guys coming in, but I mean, the offense. I mean, and then it's just the offense. The offense gives you nothing to promise about. I seen this week earlier, Johnny Smith. His average depth per reception is 1.2 yards. His average depth per target is 4.6.
That was Mac Jones all night tonight. I mean, Warren Sharp was tweeting all night about some mind-boggling numbers about his average depth of air attempt.
Johnny Smith on the cap next year for $18.5 million. You're not obviously you clearly can't get rid of him. So it's just, I mean, it really, like I said, I thought this game, the offense should have been able to take put the team away early away. I'll take it off the line. But I felt like it was a game that the offense should have jumped out early with Colt McCoy. Should have been able to put the game away, and I'll take it off the line. Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.
I wasn't expecting them to put it away because I just don't think they have the offense to put anybody away. I was a little surprised that the defense allowed the Cardinals to move the ball as well as they did for the first 3 quarters of the game. I thought they locked it down once they got the lead. But, yeah, I wasn't expecting an easy blowout win. I don't know how you guys felt.
No. I mean, I love the same as you. I mean, I think I was a little disappointed. You thought Colt McCoy's going to come in and they're just going to start doing Patriots defense things right away. It took them until the last drive of the first half to get
And when
that.
I say I wasn't expecting a blowout win, I meant after Murray. Yeah. I will freely admit, I thought the game was over when Murray got hurt. I didn't think there was any way the Patriots would lose to Colt McCoy. But I didn't think it would be a blowout.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's not 2010.
That's when Colt McCoy did beat the Patriots. in the Peyton,
12 years ago.
In the Peyton Hillis game.
Yeah. Rookie Gronk.
I just love how all Patriots games have names.
Yeah, the Peyton
that one we
Hillis.
lost that year.
That was a bad game.
That was another game. That's the one they lost that year.
I think Gronk made a mistake in it. Oh, my gosh.
Let's step aside here for a moment. Thank NFL All Day. All your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called
Moments.
Not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of fans, you can use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out. Find some moments from all your favorite Patriots players at NFLAllDay.com.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Every play, every pass, every performance is perfected on the training field, producing critical data that's analyzed, measured, and studied. Acronis keeps that data safe and ensures it's there to use whenever and wherever it's needed.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million for picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Every play, every pass, every performance is perfected on the training field, producing critical data that's analyzed, measured, and studied. Acronis keeps that data safe and ensures it's there to use whenever and wherever it's needed.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Bossman Fred Kirsch joining us with some very aggressive eyewear.
I had to come in disguise.
Yeah.
People are upset with me.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, back to your phone calls. Somebody drops off. You can hop on 855-PATS-500. Kevin in San Francisco, you're up. Patriots postgame show. They get the win 27-13 over the Cardinals in Arizona. Kevin, what do you think?
Hey, guys. Happy holidays to you, first off. You know, I'm not particularly happy, to be honest with you. Just cologne on the cadaver, to be honest with you. There's nothing really exciting about 20 points on offense. They beat a team that lost their starting quarterback in the first 3 plays of the game. And just constant reflection on all the problems we have, and it's the same stuff every week. So I'd rather, at this point in time, I'd rather just lose and get a better pick. But then again, though, with Belichick, we'll probably screw that pick up anyway. So what's the difference? Happy holidays, guys. Take care.
People on Twitter not happy with the callers tonight.
Yeah.
What's up with all the negativity?
I don't know. How much better of a pick are you going to end up getting?
No, I think that ship has sailed. They've won. They've won 7 games. Like, if you win 3 games, you're talking about a pick. You win 6, 7, 8. Like, what's the difference?
What's the
difference?
difference?
Picking 12 or 15.
Right. If you're not picking in the top 7,
yeah.
Then what are we
I mean,
doing?
obviously, you want to pick as high as you can, but I just think it's not worth trying, quote unquote, trying to lose to do that.
No, of course not.
I think you know.
And whether you have the same coaching
you try to make the
hierarchy in
playoffs.
place or not, you're still going to have some of these players are going to be back next year, and there's time to develop. And who knows? Maybe win some games. You can win a couple more games and find yourselves in the playoffs. Do you want a shot? You want to, at the very least, do you want to not have an embarrassing first-round exit like you had last year? Don't look past a playoff appearance. You got to reset expectations around here. I'm telling you, it's a different world. The Deuce, look at me. It's not,
If you can make the playoffs, you make the playoffs.
You
I
make
agree
the
with you,
playoffs, and there's value in that. There is.
There sure is.
Playoffs.
I feel like I have to talk to Deuce and remind him it's not,
got to win 3 of the
5
last
years
4.
ago.
I mean, in some regards, though, I think like the rookie running backs getting the chance tonight. Like, I mean, for the get a draft pick people, Marcus Jones. Like, these are the things. These are the little silver linings down the road that just it's good. It's good to get those guys experience. I feel better having seen a little bit out of Pierre Strong. I mean, granted, it was whatever it was, 4 or 5 carries, but certainly more out of Harris and Strong than you've seen going back to training camp. So. Those things are emerging a little bit, so I'll take them.
All right, Rakim in Memphis. What's going on? You're on the Patriots postgame show.
Hey, y'all. First time caller, long time listener, all that jazz. Look, I'm just glad that we got a win tonight. I didn't have high expectations coming into this game. Obviously, I know they were 4-18. They were 4-18, but but anyway, I'm just glad they got the win tonight. And I've heard a lot of times that the Patriots lack a true identity on offense. And my thing is, what do you think they should do as far as, like, the players, the personnel? Should they try to do the 2 tight end thing? Or should they, like, stick with this 3 wide receiver, thing that they tried tonight and pretty much most of the season, and go out in the offseason and try to get like a true number 1 type wide receiver? What do you think they should do as far as that?
Rakim, we talked about it on the pregame show. It's a good question.
I'm out of suggestions for the team. I think that they should get a qualified offensive football mind to make that suggestion. I think that's what needs to be done. Not,
I didn't want to shut down.
As much as I can come up with, hey, they should do more RPOs or shotgun or whatever it is. Like they need like a whole new kind of plan.
I'm here to facilitate, not shut down conversation. But I would have shut down that conversation in the pregame. So, what are you talking about personnel for? We're going to change how we coach things up around here offensively.
Yeah, I think that's
year.
first and foremost. But I do think that 3 wide sets, 11 personnel, I think is more suited. I've seen enough of Jonnu Smith. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't
like
need.
They have to.
Yeah, I don't need to see the 2 tight ends, but I do like. I don't love any of the receivers, but I like them all. If that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have a stud, and they need that. I agree with you guys. They need a a guy to sort of take the bull by the horns.
Do you want that one guy, Rakim? Do you want that one really standout wide receiver?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like, if they're gonna stick with like the 3 wide receiver thing, I would like for them to kind of get a stud. And if not, I don't mind them trying the 2 tight end thing. It's just that I don't see, I don't really see them getting targets a lot when I'm watching these games, and I'm thinking like they're so expensive. We're paying them so much. Excuse me, not we, because I'm not, part of the Patriots, but they're paying them so much that I would expect them to at least target them at least like 5 times a game.
You're not out of line. I've been talking about that much earlier in the season too.
I think this just kind of came to me. So if y'all go with me for a second on this, but
I'm in.
So the 2 tight end set. I think part of the advantage of having 2 tight ends is that you can dictate your matchups, right? And that has to be somewhat predicated though on you need a tight end who can block. So when you had Gronk and Hernandez, you had Gronk who can certainly block just about anybody. With Haloti Ngata being a prime example. I think the problem right now is that you have 2 tight ends. They can't really block. Now, if they can't really block, and then they can't really cause matchup problems because they're not really that they're athletic guys, but they're not like George Kittle athletic or, they're not Aaron Hernandez with that kind of speed in the open field. So I think that these 2 guys are just kind of in the middle, and that's the problem. I think Hunter Henry's a pretty good, overall tight end. He's not a great blocker, but I just think that's the problem. You can't really do 2 tight end things when neither of those guys are really plus blockers. They're not giving you that extra juice that you need in the running game. So, to that point, I think go with the 3 wide receivers. Go with speed, and stop trying to beat people.
So you don't
with
disagree
Jonnu
with
Smith.
me all the time.
No. I took the long way to Grandma's house to get back to it, but
I think I'm with you.
But those tight ends, it's not what anybody thought it was going to be. When you sign 2 tight ends, and you're like, oh, here it is, the 2 tight ends set back. They're fine. They're not Ryan Izzo and Matt Lacoste.
Right. You either need dynamic players like Travis Kelce types, or physical
Dan Graham.
like Gronk with the ability to block and win matchups that way, and then make plays as receivers. Now with Gronk, you had both.
Right.
But
that's a unique. But that's why I said Dan Graham. Like, wouldn't you trade out Jonnu Smith for Dan
like
Graham?
I'd be
and feel
happy.
Like he would,
I'd be happy to use Daniel Graham in Benjamin Watson.
Right.
Circa 2004.
Yeah. Good balance. One guy who's a plus athlete that Ben Watson in his prime could probably line up against most safeties and probably beat them.
I mean they're not gonna kill you. Like Watson never really panned out to be that dynamic piece, but both of them were solid enough as receivers, and in Graham's case especially, dominant as blockers, that you could use that 2 tight end set. I don't think you have that with Henry and Smith. I think it's just okay.
Yeah.
And I think you need them more so in the blocking game right now, and you need the blocking aspect of their game more so than you need them as receivers right now because of the issues on the offensive line.
And you also don't have a fullback, which granted different, but still like an element of an H-back or somebody that's tough that can get in people's way and just have a piece of aggression to them. It doesn't exist right now.
Eldred, North Carolina. Eldred, what's going on, my friend?
Hey fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Like the game. Still didn't know with the offense, but getting back with what the caller said and what Mike was saying, again, you got to have somebody know how to architect to get the players the ball. And I agree with him. You're paying all these wide receivers that much money. Some of them, target one twice a game or one sitting back for 7 games because of something he said. But it's,
Forgot about that.
Like Aikman said, this don't look like a playoff team. It don't feel like one. It look like one. The defense looks pretty good, but offense, you can't go on no short screen every game playing short screen, and because eventually it's gonna catch up with you. You got to throw deep somewhere, and I'm just a knob because they keep throwing deep to some other people instead of giving somebody else a good chance. With speed, that's my only problem. Is the offense. Defense, I'm like you, Paul. A bunch of wide receivers running open.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even, I'm not really even thrilled. The defense closed like champs tonight, but I'm not thrilled with the overall defensive performance tonight.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%, But then again, like I said, you got new rookies back there, they learning the game, whatever. But offensively, nope. And I'm like them other guys. I wish we could have been in the top 5 or top 10 or 12 in the draft. But again, just like the other guy said, Bill wouldn't do right in the first place, to GM. So, but other than that, I'm happy for the win.
Yeah. You had to have the win
against the Raiders.
Yeah. Like the season continues. If you lost tonight, I'm sorry, the season was over. And I think if you lose Sunday to the Raiders, the season is over.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way. Eldred, thanks for the call. We'll talk to you on Sunday.
All right.
All right, buddy. See you.
I still have real questions about this defense against good offenses. And as much as you can look at the talent that the Raiders have and say, like, this might be a legit matchup, the Raiders are also having a weird year. And,
they're very similar to this team that they just played.
It's not consistent.
They're dysfunctional.
But then we'll get to Cincinnati, and then we'll get to Miami. So, I think this defense, I'll see. I'm not going to make any judgments about them yet. It continues to be what it is, but let's see them against these teams at the end. And then we'll have a real assessment of if they're bottoming out again or if they actually did find some kind of life here near the end of the season.
You guys want to hear what Coach Belichick had to say?
Paul?
If we must.
Okay.
We don't have to, but I'm curious to hear what the head coach had to say after the 27-13 win over the Cardinals in Arizona tonight. Here's Bill Belichick.
Well, it was a good night for us tonight. Really proud of the way the team handled themselves. Long week, long trip out here. I thought they were really focused. Yesterday and certainly this morning, in our walkthrough and things like that. Had good energy for the game. The Cardinals are pretty good in the kicking game. One of the better teams we've faced. I thought our guys really, battled them there, and made enough plays offensively and defensively to win. And it's an explosive offensive group. Tough to see a player like Murray get hurt. Hope he's okay. But it's still a lot of good players on the field. Proud of the way our defense hung in there. Made some big stops, big turnover, obviously, with Kyle and McMillan, and offensively, played better. A tough break on the interception. Matt got his arm hit, but I thought we did some things better. Still got a long way to go. Had some young players step up and make some significant plays in the game. So it's good to get contributions from everybody. And short week here with Vegas, and we'll just kind of keep grinding and try to be ready to go on Sunday.
Coach, I want to bring up your draft class because your draft class has been outstanding this year with the rookies stepping up and producing. Are you pleased with the way these guys, next man up mentality, these guys are coming in and getting it done for you?
Yeah, well, it's everybody's got a role, and when their number's called, hopefully they'll come through for us. But these guys work hard; they all do. But certainly it's good to see some of the young guys, and even Schooler, Mitchell in the kicking game, and obviously the guys that scored the touchdowns, intercept the passes, like they're easy to spot. And Zappi had some contributions a little bit earlier in the year when he played, but but it really it takes everybody, and. I thought we kind of had that tonight. We had everybody pulling tonight.
Specifically on Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris, how good is it to see the hard work for them pay off? Haven't played a lot this year, but obviously putting in a lot of work.
Yeah. No, well, it's great. They get an opportunity, and they made some good big plays. We'll see if they can sustain it and show up, week after week, and people start looking for them.
Could you talk about the fumble return by McMillan? That had to be a key play of this game.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, Duggar made a good tackle, knocked the ball off Hop, and Hop's beat us so many times. But it was a heads-up play by McMillan on a good scoop and score. Shows athleticism and speed to get into the end zone. So that was a huge play, obviously.
So the shorter passing game tonight, was that more because of some of the wide receiver injuries that you had, or more game plan specific with what Arizona was doing defensively?
We hit Hunter on a couple seams. Depends on what the pattern was that we had called and what the coverage was. And I thought Mac made a lot of good decisions. We got hit on the deep ball. That was the interception. So, I don't know.
Defensively, how encouraged are you with how opportunistic the defense
Well, I mean, I had a couple big stops here today, a couple fourth down stops. Uche had a couple big plays for us. Hit McCoy, gave the interception to Jones. We're able to hit the quarterback, but of course that comes from getting ahead and playing from ahead, and became a passing game in the second half. So, but it was, our defenses. I thought they did a pretty good job tonight. They had again a lot of firepower, and Arizona moved the ball, but fortunately we got a couple red area stops and didn't give much in the second half, so it was good.
The fourth down play.
Yeah.
You guys 1 of 5, I think, that were on fourth down. That's been an area of general strength this season for you guys, would you say?
Yeah, I think statistically it has, but the important thing was this week. A couple of those were longer yardage, but Tavai tipping a pass on 4th and 1, 2, whatever it was. I mean, obviously that was that's a big play for us. Probably got a break on Brown's play where he dropped it.
Obviously, it's a important win standings wise, but maybe in terms of morale, how helpful might this be for the entire team?
It's always good to win. That's what we practice for.
Your final question?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
There you go. There's your head coach, Bill Belichick, after the 27-13 win. Some insightful answers, as always, from the head coach.
I guess we were off base.
The passing
talking
game.
about all the screen passes.
What was the purpose of that? Well, he hit Hunter in a couple of seasons.
We got Hunter a couple
Not
of
everyone.
How encouraged were you by the opportunistic play of the defense?
Encouraged.
Big.
Strong to
big
strong to quite strong.
Hugely encouragement.
A lot of it just
Yeah.
right here in my chest.
The one thing, in all seriousness, that I thought was kind of odd, like Bill's, like it was a long week. Like now a long week is a impediment.
Long week.
Long
Long
trip.
week.
Well, luckily it's a short week now. 2 short weeks.
No, but
actually.
they said
then he lamented the short week. Now we got a short turnaround. Like.
We said we weren't going to be snarky, but I'm sorry, when he said it was a long trip, did you drive? Did you take a? Did you?
Would you say a wagon train?
Would you wagon train it out from?
They've been there for 2 days already.
Yeah, nothing about football, like that I would pick at. I mean, I think he's right. I think that they were, made some big plays, opportunistic on defense, and the rookie running backs making contributions. I think he played all the hits that we talked about in the good section.
Yep.
In terms of football, but I just thought it was odd, like. Long week.
Long trip.
Now a long week is a bad thing?
That's a long trip. It's a 5-hour flight on a private plane. What are we talking about? What long trip?
With
what?
like free food on it.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of it.
Oh, yeah. They just do whatever they want. Very, very nice. All right. You want to do calls and then a break? Can we do that? All right. I don't want to keep anybody waiting any longer, like our man Spee in Fresno. Spee, thanks for holding through the coach, although you did get a chance to really focus in on Coach Belichick, so I guess, it's a win-win.
Yeah, I'll call that a win-loss. I don't know. But what do you guys make of – I thought you mentioned Zappe in there. Did I mishear that? Did you guys hear that?
Contributions from the rookie class this year. Yeah. He was asked about –
He didn't mention Zappe by name?
He did.
He did, yeah. Just saying earlier in the
He was talking about contributions by the rookie class this year. He said we got some
That's
from.
a weird thing to do mid-season.
No, it's not. He was asked a question about the rookies contributing during the season. He said a lot of times you get some contributions that go unnoticed. Like earlier in the year, we had some from Zappe. He was talking about. He was asked a question about his rookie class, and he was answering about the rookies.
Stop yelling at Spee.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let's not try to make this out to be a Zappe thing, and it's a shot at Mac.
Yeah.
Of all people, I'm defending Bill.
What'd you think of Mac's game? Zappe had a
Like-
good game.
I'm not trying to make this into a thing about Zappe. I'm not. Listen, I'll turn the table. I just want to get away from that immediately. So
Me too.
Let me ask you guys a quick question about Zappe. Shit. I mean,
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right, hey, listen, hold on 1 second. I want you to collect your thoughts. Take a breath. Give me 5 seconds, and then you can go back. Phil Perry says Ramondre Stevenson is hopeful he'll be ready to return on Sunday against the Raiders. Spee, the floor is yours once again.
Okay. First foremost, I will say thank goodness, because we need that
Absolutely.
wonderful
Absolutely.
running back. The thing I wanted to ask you guys about was my eyes can deceive me after a certain amount of beverages, if that makes sense. I just thought that, like, in the second quarter, I believed a narrative that said that Mac now had control of the playbook. Like, it seemed when they started doing that sort of sharp, short passing game that it seemed like something was different. It almost the conspiracy theory I like to believe in at that moment was that, like, Mac had said, Mac and Matt and Bill had sat into some dark room with deep throat and from last game, and they were just like, okay, how are we going to work this out? And then, you know, Mac said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, Mac and Matt, they were like negotiated, and all of a sudden Mac's going to get a chance to call the playbook, and it didn't look that good. But I thought that there was a little bit of a shift, if that makes any sense. And I am absolutely failing at this phone call, but I'm going to say I thought that there was something that looked beautiful and then did not pan out, and I am absolutely hopping off the phone.
I was going to say, is this the part? So is this with your thoughts collected? Is this the thoughts collected version we got just now?
That's really sad, right?
Oh, my God. You sound like me, Spee.
Having the time of his life.
Okay. Hey, thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you again on Sunday, I'm sure. Okay.
Yep.
All right. See you. There he goes.
That's good. That was like there was a whole scene going on. They were
Eject.
like discussing.
Eject.
Stop. Keep saying that, but you can't stop. You just keep going.
Let's go to Australia, where it is now probably sometime around.
I think the Patriots and Raiders are already playing.
I think it's like 4:30 in the afternoon on Tuesday. Am I right about that, Jake? 4:47.
Geez, you're not too far off.
What 4:47?
10 to 5.
4:47 Tuesday afternoon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Good. All right. Whatever.
Bang on.
Thank you. All right. What'd you think of the game?
It's excited we got the win.
Yep.
But again, seeing tiny, minute good things come from it, but more bad things than anything.
Tiny, minute bad things, or did you say tiny, minute good things?
Tiny, minute good things.
Yeah. That's
okay. Like what? What are some of the good things you saw?
Good to see the rookies getting a good run today.
Yep. I agree. That would be one that we talked about. Absolutely.
Defense turning up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Closed it out. They got the lead and they smelled blood and closed it out.
But yeah, other than that, the Hunter Henry play.
The Hunter
the Hunter Henry play was a big play. That was the drive that ended up giving them the 2-score lead and sort of game set match.
I like Hunter Henry, and I think they need to utilize him more, and I want to see more of that. However, like when I think back on big Hunter Henry plays this year, he's either wide open or the guy covering him goes down with a mysterious alien injury that that gets him carted off in an ambulance, and he's like more than uncovered. The guy is is flatlining on the line of scrimmage.
Right.
It's
that was the guy that got the concussion, right, against the Lions.
I don't even know what happened. Did we ever find out?
I believe he had like a serious neck injury. Did he?
I don't know. That's a good question. That was weird.
So where's the Hunter Henry play where there's like actual like.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily
football
say
going on.
Hunter Henry made a great play.
No.
I'm just saying that play, it was like a 39-yard pass, I think. That was a big play on that
schemed
drive.
it up.
I was waiting for you to say, yeah, but he was wide open. I'm like, yeah, come to think of it, every big Hunter Henry play this season, he's like wide open. So what I'm kind of waiting for the
great design.
Yes, Deuce. That's what we're accentuating the positive.
All right, that's it, Jake. It was a great design. So put that in your positive mark. How's that?
That is it.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my next thing is can we turn Henry into somewhat of a Gronk-like player?
No.
He is what he is.
We said in unison.
But I think he's look,
he's really good.
He's a good player.
He's
he's
good
not
player.
Great. He's not Gronk.
He's an
not
average
Kittle.
NFL tight end. Gronk is arguably the greatest tight end who ever played, and I'm not exaggerating.
Right. Forget about Gronk. You're not going to turn him into Travis Kelce. You're not going to turn him into any kind of like elite tight end, I don't think, at this point.
I'm not sure he's as good as Mike Gesicki.
But he can be more useful than he has been. But a lot of other things need to happen offensively with his team right now in order to be able to utilize him to his fullest. Mike, who is in Arizona, where the Patriots got the win tonight. What's up, Mike?
Hey, boys. I know I called in before. My voice is trashed.
Nice.
We were front row in the end zone right in front of where McMillan got the touchdown.
Ooh.
So we were going nuts. And what was funny is, like, and we gave them hell as Patriot fans. It was funny because we're, like, right in the middle of, like, the fan section for the Cardinals. And so we're just surrounded by Cardinal fans, and we were yelling like crazy.
We saw you. You guys were going nuts.
Oh, yeah, dude. And I had and the funniest part, speaking of Zappy and Bailey and all that stuff, so I had this giant Mac Jones poster. So, like, I do merch and stuff. So, like, I had a giant poster of Mac Jones as Rambo from Rambo 2. And and it said Mac 10, the short game fucking sucks. Oh, at the bottom. Sorry.
You know what? We can't just let an F-bomb go. I don't care what time it is.
I'm going to hit the eject for you. And once again, Matt being so merciful with the cool story Hansel button. I thought we were getting it again. It's the same guy. It's the same guy. Oh, God.
He does merch.
I'm glad you enjoyed the game, Mike. Yes, and I believe he mentioned the merch in his call in the pregame, too.
Absolutely remember the merch.
I'm going to go buy some of his merch right now. While we thank our friends at Cyber Reason presenting the postgame show here. Great defenders don't just play on the field. They're also protecting your company and data. Cyber Reason on a mission to end ransomware and keep your business undefeated against cyber attacks. Learn more at cyberreason.com/ransom.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes Cyber Reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I didn't get that reference.
I did.
I don't listen
That's
to
from
the,
your era.
I know, but I don't listen to the Hardy Music Show.
That's from
Not the Hardy Music Show.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, back to the phones before we hear from Mac Jones. Oh, that's rhymes. I was just
Back to the phones
It's on
before
the
we
Mac
hear from
Jones.
just spitting fire.
It's not like Morel's one pack.
No,
that thing is rising up the charts
How
already.
did that go again?
that's next level. James,
Mike and I took your advice. We didn't screw it up. Of course, I picked both teams, so I had no choice to get it right.
Yeah, James in Hartford. What's going on, James?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Just want to make a comment. I just really like some of these guys on defense for this year, particularly Matt Judon. You have Uche, Jonathan Jones, Jack Jones, and especially like Marcus Jones. I feel like he's emerging. I think that's like really the pulse of the defense at this point in the season. And I think another thing, it's real interesting how the Patriots get, criticized about how badly they draft, which, there's definitely a conversation about that. But what's funny is there's a group of, rookies this year that are kind of like emerging, and they seem really good to build around. I just wanted to hear what y'all thought about some of the rookies.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope so.
We'll see.
I
I
hope
mean,
so.
I haven't really. I mean, I think tonight was really encouraging with the running backs. First contributions we've seen from either of them. Really, the first contributions we've seen from Marcus Jones on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a punt returner, he's been outstanding. Jack Jones, to me, is kind of flashy. He made those flash plays against Green Bay. Haven't really seen a lot from him. Cole Strange, to me, has been bad. Tyquan Thornton has been bad. I don't love the draft right now. But last year at this time, I was in love with the draft. And now I don't feel as good about it. So it can change so fast. I don't like evaluating draft classes until they actually play a significant amount of games. And I know that's a cop-out to say, well, wait 3 years. But I really do think with draft classes, it's hard. Tonight, who is it? James? I think James is 1,000% right. Tonight was tonight was a poster child for your draft.
Yeah.
Like all your draft picks showed.
Yeah.
They looked great tonight.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that all year. I haven't really seen that from those guys all year. I don't think it's a bad draft by any means, but I don't really think you've gotten a lot out of this draft class so far.
I agree.
I hear you.
All right, James. I appreciate the call. Thanks. Let's go to Boston in Missouri. How do you feel about that? Hey, Boston, what's going on?
Hey, how we doing?
Good.
Fine.
So we need to look at the fact that our rebuild was very quick, in my opinion, and I think that it's starting to show pretty well. I don't think that the Patriots are going to look into running backs, but there is a player named Isaiah Davis out of South Dakota State. I don't know if you guys have heard about him.
I watched South Dakota State this weekend, actually.
Oh, of course you did. Of course you did.
They're playing
And what'd you think? How did you look?
Well,
I was mad that they.
I think that would be I think it'd be a really bad sign if, after taking 2 running backs in the draft, they had to take a running back in the next draft. Like especially tonight with Kevin Harris and Pierre Strong, played big roles in your win. I think. Yeah, I think there are a lot of other needs. I think tackle, cornerback, wide receiver. Like, there's a lot of other needs.
Any offensive tackles at South Dakota?
I'd really rather have one from, like, Alabama.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
That could be a start.
Yeah, I think it's a better plan. All right, Boston, thanks.
I like their tight end. They got a good tight end on South Dakota State.
Oh, yeah?
That was my take.
Yeah, let's grab another one of those while we're at it.
Though.
Chris in Niagara Falls, Canada says
Niagara Falls.
Mac Jones drops more F-bombs than touchdown passes. Trent Brown is the biggest body,
but fair.
Is the biggest body on the field and the biggest liability, and Uche for president. So that's
Uche played well tonight.
He did play
really
well.
Did Trent Brown play bad? I didn't really notice him tonight.
He had 2 penalties and whiffed on a sack.
didn't see the sack. I did see the penalties.
Chad in Atlanta says the defense won't last. They gave it all they had, and they were absolutely gassed.
Was he just saying Kazuche looked kind of tired?
Kazuche was
after that
gassed
one
after
play?
chasing the quarterback down like 2 plays in a row.
You know, time of possession was a little bit off. It was 33 and change to like 27 or something like that. So
I think that I understand why people are nitpicking because there are a lot of things to nitpick.
Yeah.
I don't think offensively this is good enough. I don't think you saw really anything tonight that was any different than what you've seen.
No.
And again, keep in mind, 32nd ranked defense.
Yeah.
So it was the worst scoring defense in football that you faced tonight. You scored 20 points.
Yeah. Stefan near Frankfurt, always checking in, always listening. Thank you. He says the offense needs a serious overhaul starting with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what we come back to time and time again. And I'm not saying that, none of these guys deserve to be anywhere near the team. No, there's good football minds here that all can be
good
utilized.
solid reassigning.
Thank you. It's the easiest and nicest way
kind of
of
like
saying
me
that.
down with the stapler. I was reassigned.
You're gonna put Matty P in the DSP.
How many of our last games can we actually win? This is from Chris.
How many what?
How many what nows?
What do you think, with what we have on offense, is it possible to win a playoff game? More importantly, out of our last games, how many can they actually win?
I would say they're going to be hard-pressed to beat the Raiders, the the Bengals, and the Bills. I have reasonable faith that they could beat Miami.
Yeah.
I think Miami is a little bit broken.
Yeah.
And, they've really looked bad the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Really bad. And I really have reservations of how Tua will be able to throw the ball on New Year's Day in Foxborough. I think that could be really an equalizer for him.
Crazy twist. I mean, I was all
Crazy
aboard. I was
twist.
all aboard the Tua train. He was playing
No,
lights
I know
out.
because everybody thinks it's all the coaching.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, I don't know if it's teams getting a beat on him, if he's just not really playing well. The last game, 2 games ago, I kind of just felt like he just didn't
was
play
off.
well.
Yeah, he was off. This game,
it
they
seemed
weren't
like
open.
They just
they weren't open
going.
consistently. I thought they were too Tyreek Hill centric too. I heard someone say those words today on one of the 9,000 shows that you watch, and I watched the whole game last night, and I thought I said that totally encapsulates it. He's gotten away from Waddle, gotten away from Gesicki, and they don't run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost all Tyreek Hill, and you're going to get multiple bodies around him. I don't care how fast he is. If he has 3 guys around him, it's going to be hard to make plays. And even then, he's got a touchdown.
That fumble was so stupid. It was just like somehow it just squirted right out to him. And
Yeah,
he just,
I missed that.
Oh, come
play.
on. And then he just ran everywhere.
Well, I don't know how you guys felt. I was rooting for Miami for the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, me too. For sure.
Yeah, I think it would have been – I think that was a bad result
I mean,
for the Patriots.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you look at – I mean, we were talking about it before. I mean, just for the listeners too. I mean, you look at – you kind of right now are got to keep pace with the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers play Tennessee, at Colts, Rams, at Broncos. I mean, those are 4 winnable games. Of course, as Paul says, it's the Chargers.
It's
you
the
don't
Chargers.
know.
And
they could blow any
if
one
it was
of
the
those ones.
Patriots, I wouldn't pencil in 4 wins either.
Yeah.
So I
certainly an
but
easier
they're
schedule
all-
than the Patriots have.
They're
right
all
now.
winnable games. And to answer the emailer's question, could they win a playoff game? I don't like the comp outs, but do I think they could beat Buffalo in a playoff game, Kansas City in a playoff game? No, I don't. Could they beat Baltimore in a playoff game? Yeah, I think they could, especially if Lamar Jackson doesn't play. Could they beat Tennessee in a playoff game? Absolutely.
Jacksonville just beat Tennessee.
Right.
You can do
So
the
I do think there are playoff
exercise.
teams that they can play with.
Yeah,
It's just tough because it's only the 7th seed probably left. Unless Miami continues to fall off the cliff, you're going to be you're playing the number 2.
If you end up with the 7th seed, you're playing either at Buffalo or at Kansas City, and I don't think you can play with either one of those teams.
Joe and Raleigh, what do you got for us, Joe?
Been a while since the Diet Millers tasted good on a primetime game, so I had to call in. Listen, I love the fact that we're competing. I love the fact that when I look at the schedule, there's a chance that we might slip in. But I wanted to ask you guys 2 specific questions. If it weren't for Nick Foles, take away percentage of made kicks, do you think we'd have a top 10 pick? I mean, I just feel like he's been our offensive MVP
the guy deserves respect. I cannot help but to look at our special teams, and obviously Marcus Jones with the Jets game. We could have lost that easily, but with Nick Folk, I just feel like that we could be a top 10 draft pick team. Like, these games could have gone much differently. And a quick follow-up to that, but I'd love for you guys to speak to that, because I see nothing on offense. We make defensive plays, and then there's Nick Folk.
Yeah, but look, you've called the right show. You've called the right show if you want to praise Nick Folk, but you can't leave the offense out of it. It's not like he's making kicks from the wrong side of the 50-yard line. I mean, they are moving the ball enough for him, and they also know their limitations when they get close to the red zone. So
not always. But he's bailed them out a lot. I kind of agree with the premise of the call. They've had a lot of disheartening sequences of football that he's come in and bailed them out of.
If they had a bad kicker, they could
fumbling with 10 seconds left and moving back 5 yards. Oh, but you avoid disaster because your kicker comes in and connects from 51 yards. That's a key little juncture right there. Everybody forgets the fumble because you were going to get a field goal anyway and you got it.
Oh, yeah.
But if you miss the 51-yarder, it hurts because you just push yourself out of field goal range. And so many times they took over in field goal range, did nothing, but he made sure you got 3.
Right. And
I agree with his premise.
Yeah, and psychologically, he's like the only reliable thing. And it gives them something to fall back
Right.
upon. It's the only thing they really can
If
fall
they had
back
a bad
upon.
or inconsistent kicking game this year, they could be 5-8 right now. Very, very
Yeah.
easily.
Now, in all honesty,
what does that do for your draft board position?
Right. In all honesty, he's what is he? I think he's 27 for 32. That puts him in line with every other kicker. Every week I do the matchups between, when the Patriots run, when the Patriots special teams. And every week I look at the opponent's kickers, and they're all they have Daniel Carlson this week for the Raiders. He's better than that. He's 29 for 31 or 32, something like that. I think he's missed 3. 2 of them were beyond 55 yards that he missed. So, kickers make kicks for the most part. Some teams have problems keeping a kicker healthy. And the Patriots have faced a couple of teams this year that have gone through 3 kickers. I think your team might have gone through a handful of kickers, the Lions.
Yeah, but
Michael Badgley, right?
Yeah, if they were at 5-8 right now, there's still 7 teams worse than you with 4 wins or less.
Right, and he's not responsible for 5 wins. Yeah, maybe you could say one of them. Yeah,
well,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
You swing 3 losses back the other way, and it's okay. So man. All right, let's hear from Mac Jones here, your quarterback after the 27-13 win tonight over the Cardinals in Arizona. Here's Mac.
How's it going? Good.
How good to get out of there just with a win and kind of set the tone for the week?
Yeah, I think first off, just a little opening statement. Just want to send prayers to Coach Leach and his family. He offered me a scholarship at Washington State, and didn't ever meet him personally. I mean, I did, but it was on the phone. So just prayers to his family with everything going on. But yeah, I think the fans showed up today really well. Patriot fans were here and were loud, and I think it actually really helped us to bring up the energy. And it's always good when the fans can have our back on a road game. So really good to see that. And we came here to win, and that was the important part. So come out with the win however we had to do it, and I think it was a team win. And we're going to watch the film and get better.
How important was the swing at the end, the first half to get the field goal, then come out, get another one, and then your defense helped take over? How important was that swing, a little complimentary football there to end the half and the beginning of the third?
I think, we had the one little fumble deal there, just learn from that, and fortunate to get on it and be able to kick the field goal. So, and then we get the ball back, right, and at half. So just trying to play good football, like you said. The defense obviously scored a touchdown for us, which was huge to kind of give us that lead there. And, we want to score more points. So we'll watch the tape and see what we can do better, as always. And biggest thing is get the win, right? That's all we came here for. And every day you have to fight to win. So that's what we're going to do.
You had some great passes to Hunter Henry. 2 39-yard strikes. Looking them off, looking one way and then throwing back the other. And all of a sudden you got him open and you just delivering strikes.
Yeah, I think Hunter and Jonnu have done a great job for us in the tight end room, and Hunter just has a great feel for the game. He just wants to help the team any way he can, and same thing with Jonnu. So love those guys, and going to continue to grow, hopefully, their roles and all that. And when they're on the field together, they're really good. So definitely want to expand on that and do those things.
Obviously missing some key pieces today. What can you say about the rookies who were able to step up between Pierre and Kevin and Marcus?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a hectic, injury game for us, but can't control those things. And obviously, Mondre went down. He's one of our best players. So those guys stepped up, and obviously with Damian out, they had to step up. And the thing I told them was, for Kevin, it's just like SEC football. So go out there and do your thing. And you've played against really good teams, and that's what it is. And Pierre is the same thing. A young guy, but he's really fast, uses his speed well. So they did a great job, and they're going to have to step up again, and Marcus and everybody. So the rookies definitely did a great job, and super proud of them, and they just want to help the team win. So that's what we're trying to do.
I think you have to wipe the smiles off their faces in the locker room just a few minutes ago. They were both bleeding.
Yeah.
Kind of what's that feeling like to see that, the resiliency, the exuberance from the offense?
Yeah, it's great. I think that's what we wanted to do, is try and win the game however we had to do it. And those guys made some great plays. The offensive line gave them the big holes, and the receivers got the blocks on the outside. So that's kind of how we want to play offensive football in the run game. And got to watch the film and see what we can do better. But that's a good defense to blitz a lot from different places and try and confuse you. And you just got to stick to your rules and go. So proud of those guys.
On the TV broadcast, it showed that sometimes you were physically frustrated, but then it also showed that you were hugging Matt Patricia at one point. Why was that important for you? And then are you frustrated with this offense?
No. I think the biggest thing for me is not letting it affect my play and bringing the best out of my guys. So today I thought we all did a good job with trying to play the next play, play the next series, and Matty P did a great job. He's trying to call the game so that we can win. And sometimes it might be this thing that people don't know about, like the quick passes for whatever reason, and that's our game plan. So we knew that's what we had to do to win, and he called a great game and stayed calm. Matty P is a very calm person, very stoic, and we're just going to continue to grow together and do what we can to win games.
Last question, guys. Marcus's role in offense has kind of expanded. You guys used him as kind of like a decoy at times.
Sorry, Judon's making me laugh.
I
I like the outfit, though. He got me.
he was kind of a decoy at times tonight. It seemed a little bit like they were, kind of converging on him to open things up.
Yeah, I think it's cool to have him help any way he can. I mean, the kid's on special teams. He's hitting people on defense and covering really good receivers, and then coming over and running full speed on motions and running routes. So just really great leadership from him. Not a vocal guy, and he's a young guy, but to show that he is going to give it 100% no matter what his role is pretty cool. So I felt like we did that tonight, and we're definitely going to expand on that. And the guys that want to be out there and play hard, and they're going to be out there. So I feel like we have a good group.
Thank you, Matt.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, there's Mac Jones cracking up when he saw Matthew Judon.
He's a funny guy.
Well, you saw the outfit he was wearing pregame.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
cool pants.
Same thing on there. All right, we got to step aside one more time. We're going to thank Dapper Labs, NFL All Day. NFL All Day. That's the outfit where all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. Not only can you buy and sell on a secure marketplace, which is full of thousands of NFL fans, you can use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out. Find some moments of all your favorite Patriots players at NFLAllDay.com.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Defending against cyber attacks requires seeing in the dark, understanding and ending every threat to your organization on computers, mobile, and the cloud. It takes cyber reason. End cyber attacks from endpoints to everywhere.
$1 million For picking players, that's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
TouchView Interactive from the...
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Boss man Fred Kirsch joining us with some very aggressive eyewear.
I had to come in disguise.
Yeah.
People are upset with me.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, couple of calls here, and then we are going to wrap this Patriots post-game show. I don't want to tell you to make it quick, Brad in Seabrook, New Hampshire, but, hey, Brad, make it quick.
Sounds like a little lightning round.
Yeah, lightning round. Let's go. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm just going to jump in here. I know you guys have been working late. I totally agree with Folk, the last caller. If not for him, the Patriots would definitely be 5-8. This team is a good offense away from being competitive. They need to sign a big-time wide receiver and possibly get rid of the tight end scheme, maybe keep Henry. Jonnu Smith, I think he needs to go. And I think that they're just maybe an offense away from actually competing, and the defense has been consistent. And I really trust the scheme that they have other than Matt Patricia, let's be honest. But I really think that the offensive line and the offense just needs to get going.
I think offense is probably going to end up and continue to be the conversation going forward this week.
Yep.
But what did we ask for? What was your key? Find a way, get the win, just win.
They did.
They won.
I asked for red zone. I got 2 out of 4.
That's not
bad.
That's not bad.
It's not
That's
bad.
not bad.
I had something about original sin or something
Cardinal
about
sin.
golden rule.
Don't let them score in the
Apple.
first half because they score all their points in the second half. They scored 13 in the first half.
Don't.
That would be a 0 in the second half.
It's all right. We're trying.
So I ended up with the worst one.
Well,
My key was the worst key to the game.
I think we all felt that live.
This is not a revelation. I'm gonna have such an awesome key on Sunday. You guys are gonna just suck it because my key's gonna be so good. Mark in California. Final call, final word. What do you got, Mark?
Thank you for taking my call, guys. Very quickly, I haven't heard you guys talk about this lately. What did you think of the kind of weird, awkward bro hug between Matt and so-called Matty P? I think that's a sign that we need to look for another offensive coordinator next year. Your thoughts?
Somebody put it on Twitter is like this hug is all about only 4 more weeks of working together on this. Just suck it up. And
I agree that
it
it was an awkward-looking hug. I don't really agree that it's a. I mean, I think we knew that they need. I think they need to do something different.
Yeah, I don't think it's a sign.
We'll see
of
if Bill
else.
agrees. I don't think he does.
I think they probably go with pretty good idea of what they think is going to happen going forward. But who even knows anymore?
We found a way. We found a way.
You did. That's Deuce's final thought.
Mike.
They found a way.
And that's
Paul,
all you can ask for.
Your final thought?
My final thought is I wish you well on your trip to Vegas. I hope you get back safe and ready to go next week. Just to remind everybody, that game has been changed. The game time, it's no longer in prime time. Las Vegas Raiders, 4:05 start Eastern time. So we will be with you at 2 o'clock.
2 or 1:45? Okay, 1:45 p.m. on Sunday for the Patriots pregame. For everybody participated and put the show on the air, both for the pre and the post. We thank you. Great job, great work, everybody, as always. Your final score for the final time, Cardinals 13, Patriots 27. That's for you, Paul.
Thanks, Hardy.
Thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.